Just a few quick ones out of the many. When we were painting, there was a big team of about 20 devotees painting the bas reliefs. Big, sometimes 10 feet, sometimes 5 feet, bas reliefs for Gurudev's Govardhan temple. And once he was coming back from a walk, we were up on the rafters. I went down and I asked him, now, we did so much service for Prabhupada's ISKCON, and now we're not allowed in the temples. So what if in the future something happens with your temples and we've put so much effort, months of effort or years of effort into these bas reliefs? So will it be a waste of time? So he said, no, absolutely not. Srila Rupa Goswami created the Govindaji temple, and even though it was desecrated, and even though sometimes there's nobody there, still it has all the power of Srila Rupa Goswami because his bhakti went into it. So because my bhakti went into the temple, it will always be beneficial for anyone who comes. Srila Gurudev, besides engaging me in paintings, one of the things he engaged me in was writing articles for him, protecting his integrity when some people would say he's different from Prabhupada, or Prabhupada says this, and Srila Narayan Maharaj says that, so therefore he's different, contrary. And so once in Badger, around 2000, a few of us, Prem Priyojana Prabhu and myself and a couple of others, were writing a booklet. Our gurus, one in Siddhanta, one in heart. We were just writing the articles at that time. Later on it turned into the booklet. But while we were writing the articles for posting on internet, Gurudev was pushing it and we weren't quite ready yet. As Vasanti said before, when I said, I just have one more question for Journey of the Soul, he said, you didn't finish it yet? No, Gurudev, one more question. Oh my God. So similarly, usually he doesn't call me to his quarters, but he was in his quarters in Badger, and we were in Nandagopal Prabhu's house typing away. And so he called me to his room, and when I reached there, he was standing on his lawn, and he said, when will you complete this? After I die. And of course we started working harder. Another time we wrote an article and protecting Gurudev's, or defending, he doesn't need protection, defending Gurudev's honor. And one of Gurudev's disciples complained to him that why does Syamarani and others have to write all these kinds of articles that are getting back at people by forcing some philosophy? Why doesn't everybody just chant together and be happy? All the different groups, even the group that criticizes Gurudev. So then Gurudev waited for for one darshan, this was in Fiji, and in front of everybody he called her name and he said, so what will you do if somebody says your Gurudev goes to liquor stores and bad things like that? What will you do, smile and show your teeth? Another time, in regard to this, it was Rupa Goswami's disappearance day in Vrindavan, and he was giving a lecture on Guru Nistha, and how when his Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshu Goswami Maharaj, wrote about an article about Ratha Yatra in Navadvip, and then other leaders of other institutions were saying this is unbona fide. They waited for Param Gurudev to leave the world. And Gurudev would write articles, and these articles, I was so agitated. I wrote an article, then they wrote an article. This went on for a year. Then he said, if somebody doesn't defend the integrity of his bona fide Gurudev, then he's no better than a eunuch. One time, he's done a lot of chastisements to me in public, like once when I was really puffed up and he was doing a lecture on the first verse of Gopad Gita, and I said, I know that. I'm thinking, I know this purport so well. I edited it, and it became a book. And so Gurudev called on me to speak about that verse, And then I missed the most important point because pride comes before the fall. So Gurudev took away my intelligence. And then after I spoke, he made one of those sarcastic claps, thank you. and then he gave the main point. But sometimes he would encourage us, especially with those articles. He said, Syamarani always cuts the articles of people who criticize me. And he said, even if Lord Brahma would criticize, she would cut all of his arguments. But at the same time, even though we presented him books one after another, like the first book we did was Ocean of Rust, which was his lectures in Badger of 1996. And another devotee and I were working real hard. We wanted to present him the book in Costa Rica. We were working really hard. We came in late to his class because we were at the printers. And I was thinking, yeah, I'm doing this great service for Gurudev. And he was almost at the end of his lecture. We put the book sprawled out on his Vyasasana, and he completely ignored me like I wasn't even there, even though the books were being presented to him. Because he wants proper devotional mood and humility and giving him the credit and not us the credit. Then, and he would always help us with the books that we were making for him. Like, you all know, I think, what is that? Secret Truths of the Undiscovered Self. So the first printing we did was about Harishchandra, how the great sage Viswamitra tricked him. I think you know the story. Viswamitra appeared in his dream. In his dream, he took away his kingdom, and Harishchandra he thought, I am a truthful king. That is my identity. So he took away his kingdom, took away everything from him. Then because he was thinking, I'm truthful. Then he was kicked out of the kingdom, had to go to Kailash, became a cemetery worker, and then his wife came with her dead baby, and he said, no, unless you pay me, because he couldn't see who she was. Unless you pay me, you can't get in the cemetery. Anyway, so he was completely destroyed. And then Lord Brahma came, and Viswamitra came, and everybody, that you've passed the test, and now you're qualified to become, hope I didn't say that too fast, now you're qualified to enter, to become what's the opposite of descendant?
Ascendant.
Of Lord Ramchandra, and he'll appear in your dynasty. So the devotees were criticizing, and they were saying, this is really mean. It looks like Viswamitra was really mean. Took away his whole kingdom, killed his son, made his wife the servant of a really nasty brahmana. So wasn't that mean of him? So I said, so what can we write for the next printing to explain that it wasn't mean? So he said it was such great mercy, because what would have happened in so many lives by his own working it out, his karma, it happened in one life by the mercy of his Gurudev. So Gurudev answered so many questions for so many books. Madhav Maharaj answered so many questions and helped us meet Srila Gurudev, and Shripad Madhav Maharaj, that was offensive, and helped us have like hundreds of meetings with Srila Gurudev to answer all the questions, to clarify for the books. So thank you very much for presenting this.
Jai Gopal Prabhu, Jai Gopal. Jai Gopal.